The issue of mental health in drum corps, perhaps more important this year than ever as we come out of the pandemic and we look back and see the effects that it has had on the mental health of, well, everybody, of course, but pertinent to this discussion, the mental health of adolescents and young adults, and specifically marching members in drum corps. Joining me to talk about it, two people who gave a presentation during the Drum Corps International Winter Meetings, specific to the Marching Arts Safety and Health, MASH, about mental health and what corps directors, instructors, other performers should be on the lookout for during this coming season. Julie Hill is an assistant professor of psychology at LaSalle University. She specializes in developmental psychology and has, in fact, her doctorate in that from the University of Florida. Jeremy VanWert, the executive director of Vanguard Performing Arts, the parent organization of the Santa Clara Vanguard and Vanguard Cadets and all of their ancillary programs. He is also an expert in child mental health, has a master's degree in marriage, family, and child therapy and business administration in healthcare and leadership administration. So both of these people very qualified to talk about mental health in drum corps. Jeremy, Julie, welcome to both of you.
Thank you so much.
Let's start with that general broad topic of what you've observed as experts in child psychology and adolescent development, what you've observed in the last 2 years about the effects of the pandemic, the shutdowns, the remote learning, and the cancellation of everything. What effects have you noticed on adolescents? Julie, let's start with you.
Sure. There's certainly been a tough time for everyone, adolescents not excluded. And at the university level, I see my college students every day, but mostly on Zoom, and they are really struggling to make connections, to keep up with their motivation to continue to do things that they used to do without problems, such as schoolwork, and just any of their other things in life. It's become quite a struggle from the general isolation that the pandemic has brought overall, plus the trauma of seeing people affected by COVID.
I've heard the words lost generation, that phrase used. Is that an exaggeration, or do you think there's some truth to it?
That I think there could definitely be some truth to it. We'll certainly have to see as this keeps playing out.
Jeremy, what have you observed? And specifically, you maybe can start tying it back into drum corps. What have you seen from the members of Vanguard Cadets?
So we are just beginning our regular season now, but what I have been seeing both in my private practice and in the other work that I've been doing is that we have this 2-year period of time where this development of these young people has really been on a bit of a hiatus. And so what I would see, and I was seeing this a little bit at our audition camps, is your auditioning members coming in and being a little bit more prone to overwhelm, a little bit more anxious, and a little bit harder to be resilient. And they want to be resilient, but they've had 2 years of not being in a consistent schooling environment, or the many of them being in different kinds of schooling environments, some of them not at all. Some of them went to school the whole time. So you have this mixed match within the milieu of these young people with different experiences over the past year. And this particular generation has also been known for escaping kind of into a digital world and this social media world. It has been absolutely profound over the last 2 years because that has been their social life. It's been their social space. And so the difference between etiquette online and etiquette in person is something you have to learn those skills in person, just like you have to learn them online. And so a lot of the social skills that they would have been developing throughout the past 2 years are things that they haven't necessarily developed yet. So you're going to see these members appear a little bit more young, a little bit less life experienced, and there's going to be a lot more teaching involved and a lot more of adults involved going, why do I have to tell them this? We have to tell them this because they've been really on a hiatus from regular things of life over the last 2 years.
And mental health has always been a very important component of marching arts, the health, safety, and wellness campaign that's been around for years now. But I'm wondering if this year both of you see it as more important than ever that core directors, instructors, even performers themselves have a heightened awareness about mental health?
I think it really helps that we have this heightened awareness that has come from the problems of the pandemic, so that we can really drill into our practices, good ways to manage a variety of situations, anything that comes up on the road. And so in the future, when we're no longer in this pandemic state, we still have good practices and we're ready to deal with whatever comes our way.
Jeremy?
I completely agree with that. This is a huge transition for these young people to go from where they've been. And many of them did drum corps last year with the drum corps that did the smaller tours, but they're transitioning back into a more normal state of what drum corps and school and so forth actually is. And transitions usually are difficult for young people, really for all of us. And for our staff, our leadership, our admins to be able to recognize the signs of stress and what is good stress, what's normal stress, and what is concerning.
Well, let me stop you. Let me stop you right there, Jeremy. Before we go any further, give us some examples of what they should be looking for. What's good stress? Because drum corps is a stressful performance environment. And what is an exhibition of bad stress?
Good stress is when you can see the young person get frustrated, maybe act out on that just a little bit in the sort of way, and then move on. That's resilience. And when you're seeing a young person in a position where they're starting to isolate from others, where they're starting to go away from others, where they're not eating lunch with others, where they might be restricting food, where their friends might be going, gosh, what happened to John? John seems different. And John needs somebody to kind of tap on his shoulder and go, hey, how are you doing? What's happening? If you're seeing a young person who is seeing all the corrections that they're getting on a regular day in a drum corps environment, just stack up on them. Like they're overwhelmed and they can't incorporate the information into how to get better. That's the bad stress. The good stress is, I'm going to do it better next time. I'm going to do it better next time.
If a member is on tour this summer, and either they're having a struggle or they know someone who is, who can they reach out to?
You should be reaching out to your core director and to people who are on your staff, letting them know the concerns that you have, and your core director will be able to help you get in touch with health and wellness and get your issues dealt with as quickly as possible.
Okay. And Dr. Hill, that applies whether it's say me as a performer or something I've observed, right? So if I'm another performer and I'm worried about somebody on the field with me, or I'm a staff member and I've noticed something about a performer, go to the core director. Same advice?
Sure, definitely. You can always offer support to your fellow members. But you want to get someone on the staff involved as well, so that the staff can really start to see what other support needs to come in and help out. So supportive staff member that you feel comfortable talking with, and know that they are going to take it up the line as well, up to the core director.